Welcome to this episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess. I'm Eric.
And I'm Angie.
We are married with a ton of kids.
We have 6 kids total. He has 3 and I have 3.
My name's Hallie and I love riding horses.
I'm Lexi and I love agriculture.
My name's Carter and I love eating.
My name's Chase and I love lifting weights.
My name's Summer and I love spending my parents' money.
I'm Dane and I love baseball.
Our show is about our blended, blessed, and always a mess life. And our hope is if you find yourself in the same situation we are in, that by sharing our story, all the fun and all the mess, the challenges we are experiencing, it will give you some inspirations, laughs, and community, knowing you are not alone in this mess.
We appreciate you spending time with us. Let's dive in.
This episode is brought to you by Sevens Boutique, an online shop created by 2 sisters, Angie and Jess, who believe you should walk boldly, dress divinely, and know your significance. At Sevens, you'll find easygoing pieces that are cozy, classy, and made to mix and match. Think relaxed pants, cozy sweaters, and lifestyle sets you'll want to live in. Every item is handpicked with purpose, so you can shop confidently, dress comfortably, and walk boldly. Inventory is small and curated, so if you see something you love, don't wait. Visit sevensboutique.com and use the code PODCAST10 for 10% off your first order. www.sevensboutique.com. Walk boldly, dress divinely, know your significance.
Welcome to this week's episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess, where we get to do one of those 2-part location episodes today. Angie is back down at Hallie's house in Florida with Chase and his buddies, and I'm home in Columbia. And so it's great to catch up with you, honey. You look gorgeous.
Well, thank you. It's great to see you.
The sunshine is just glowing off of your tan body.
Just good for the soul.
Yeah,
I run on sunshine. That's my new phrase.
You're not ever going to live in Seattle, that's for sure.
No.
Me neither.
No. Can't do it. I've got to have the warmth and the sunshine.
Yeah, could not do it. Well, today we'll just kind of catch up on several things that are going on in our world. And there is always so many things, it seems like. But before we start, last weekend was just the tragedy that happened down in Texas. And so many lives have been lost. Recovery missions still continue to go on. And what that means in our household is Angie immediately can feel the pain of so many mamas who lost young kids at the camp in Texas last week.
I think it's just prayers. I've been praying for those moms since it happened. I mean, you know the pain ahead for them, and it's all just sickening. No one should ever have to go through that. And I was talking to some other moms in my grief group. I mean, you instantly know the pain and their heartache and the hell that lies ahead. And it just makes me want to vomit for them, for that entire community, but especially those moms of those little girls. And so just acknowledgement and just praying so hard for the broken families or lives forever changed.
Yeah, these tragedies happen all the time. And all we can do is pray and know that one day this Genesis 3 world will be behind us and Jesus will come back. And that's really what we're all working towards. And that's where we have been for the last over 2.5 years now. So that led us into church last Sunday morning. And it was a wonderful sermon. But both of us got real tense, I think, for a second, because when they started the sermon, they used the phrase, and I know how much you don't like it. So I was like, oh, where are we going? God doesn't give you more than you can handle. And then I'm glad in how it went from there, because I was like, oh, this could go really bad in our house really fast. So
yeah, I hate that, because that phrase, like when I hear it, and I have heard it, it's like, okay, so it's okay for me to be punished because I can handle it. So if I wasn't a strong person, then it wouldn't have happened to me. Like those are just things that run through your head. And so that phrase is literally nails on the chalkboard. It's like a kind of a brush off of like, well, you'll be okay. Like God doesn't give you more than you can handle. And yeah, I was tensed up too. Like, oh God, where is he going with this? And luckily, it was a great message. it resonated with me of how they unpacked that phrase. I even shared it on our social media. It's like, yeah, God gives you more than you can handle so that you can rely on him. And, that's our scenario.
And he's with you. He's in it with you.
Nobody can handle this. Nobody. And so the only way that you can get through it is God, is that knowing that Hallie is still with us, that knowing that I will see her again. And I mean, just because stuff feels like or seems like we have it together, that we can handle it, doesn't mean that that's really the case. We had the podcast last week where we talked about starting this boutique. And I'm sure on the outside, it seems like, oh, wow, Angie and her sister are doing this boutique and they're doing all these things. She's on a trip with Chase and his friends and all that stuff. But I wish people could see that I can't handle this. And so every day, why I'm getting so emotional, but every day it's this constant reliance on him. And just, the Texas stuff that happened, that's just so freaking sad. It's so sad. So anyway, it turned out to be a great message around God uses these things so that you do cling to him more, so that you learn what faith really looks like, so that he's near and you can rely on him and that everything's going to be okay. It will be okay. You will find joy again in those moments, but it's going to be a lifelong of hardships. But if it was easy, you wouldn't rely on him.
And we just don't. I hate to say that, but it's true. Like when things are going good, it's so rare that we're like, Jesus, thank you for that. At least I know in my own personal life, I've seen it with our kids. Like when things are going really good, it's like, I did that. It's not like we're like, thank you, Jesus, for that. But then when things are really hard, it's like, oh Lord, please help me with this. Please help me here. And so I think that's it's definitely the reminder, and it's real, and we need Jesus in all the things, the good and the bad, and he will come back again. And that's what we're waiting for, is that he'll come back and we'll get to be with Hallie and all of our loved ones, whoever is listening that's lost people, and the moms and dads down in Texas that have lost their little girls. Same thing. That's the thing that's going to be able to cling to, is that in this disaster, in this pain, Jesus is with them in it. So, and again, I'm glad you acknowledged that you didn't know why you're getting so emotional, because we're not in the same room, same space. So I was kind of like, I'm not sure what's happening right now. I don't know if I should say something. I don't know. So sorry that
this happened.
But I also know what it's like to be married to you in what we call, since we lost Hallie, and this can happen. Like we're just having a conversation and things get really heavy. And I know a lot of moms are listening that happens to them for sure.
It's been a up and down week for sure. We, did the podcast, and that was funny. I mean, with just all of our giggles. And I really felt like those belly laughs sustained me through the weekend. I mean, there's definitely laughter's medicine, movement's medicine, and laughing like that, which I have not done in a very long time. It just gave me energy, like sort of this renewed fuel that kept me going for a little while. So that was awesome. And then Monday, we decided that we would just open up Seven's Boutique online because it's 7/7. So why not?
Yeah.
July 7th. And, we obviously named Seven's Boutique for a reason. It's all connected back to Hallie and all the sevens that she shows us on a regular basis. So it seemed like a perfect time to just open it up and be live. On the same day, though, we also got some interesting news on 7/7. We briefly mentioned it on our podcast a while back, but we don't like to really dive into it or talk about it too much because it's all out of our control. But we had mentioned months ago that the person responsible for Hallie's death, the person that pulled the trigger, the person that had the gun pointed at her face 5 feet away, had filed an appeal to the ruling. And basically, a lot of people don't really understand what that means, but it means that he felt like he had an unfair trial and that there was some reason that they were going to appeal. And if that appeal would be granted, it would start all over, like at the very beginning, with full charges. So he ended up with probation, which is a complete hand slap for pointing a gun at someone and pulling the trigger. And, it could be that he, is found not guilty if it's appealed and starts back over, or it could be that he has worse charges or worse sentencing. So anyway, that's always been kind of a cloud out there. And on Monday, on 7/7, they filed a withdrawal of the appeal, meaning that they've changed their mind and they are no longer going to appeal. And so it basically rests with the hand slap. So that was actually, I would say, a relief. I think it was sheer stupidity. We can say stupid because a judge said stupid.
Right.
The sentencing, sheer stupidity to even try to appeal because you just got probation when you are responsible for the death of Hallie. So anyway, just wanted to share that. I know you all are following, this whole story, but there was a withdrawal of the appeal. And so it's done, which is a relief just in general for that chapter to be closed.
Can I ask you a question right now? Like, do you by any chance feel like Hallie is around you? Like, can you feel her at all?
Now?
And yeah. I'll tell you why I asked that, but
I mean, I feel like she's been around me this whole trip. And I mean, I can share a lot of reasons why I think that, but not right now at the moment. Why?
Well, I'm going to find out when I go back to edit this. But when you were just telling that story, every word you said came across super clear. And then when you said Hallie, it was like super distorted.
Oh, weird.
And that was the only word that went like super distortion, like something like she was like there and it had an effect of some kind on the audio. So that's why I asked that question, but kind of weird. We'll see in post. Maybe it sounds fine and it was just a glitch, but it seemed odd in that moment. So
yeah, no, I definitely felt her presence driving down here in the early morning hours. Completely quiet car, 4:30 a.m., talking to Hallie like I always do. I did feel like I did feel a very strong presence connection with her, like just this sort of knowing, like I know she's still with me. In my conversation with her, I felt like I could almost hear her talking in some aspects. That was cool. And then we get down here and the next morning I walk outside and there's like this most beautiful blue jay feather that I think I've ever seen just randomly on our porch. And, those are God winks that you're just like, hey, Hal.
it was like a perfect feather. You said the it was beautiful.
I'll share it on our social medias, but it was like perfect. The brightest color, little stripes. And then yesterday we were out late in the afternoon on a pontoon just in the bay. And I snapped this picture. I think I feel like I have an eye for like very aesthetic pictures. And I took this picture of this old like pier walkway. And I haven't posted anything on my Snapchat story in a long time. I always share memories, but like an actual post, I haven't. And I shared that picture, and a mom in our grief group, Graylyn's mom, Graylyn passed away in a car accident. She immediately like swiped up and was like, look at all the H's. And I'm like, what? And I go back and look at that picture and all the poles on this walkway look like H's. And then I'm like, oh, that's so cool because I love the picture anyway. And then I shared it with my sister, Jess, and she's like 5 minutes later responds back and she's like, it says Hal. And then like, you can't unsee it. I did share that on our social medias. I mean, it's like totally says
super
Hal.
cool.
I mean, it's beautiful too when sometimes you don't even see things. And then you have this army of people that are also like looking and knowing that there's signs. That's a beautiful thing.
Really is. Yeah, it's a beautiful picture. I agree. When you first sent the picture, I was like, oh, that's a great picture. But then once you see the H's and then you see Hal, it's like, okay, yeah, that is why you took that picture. Very, very cool.
Yeah. Speaking of beauty, we do want to share some life hacks with our listeners.
Sure.
That we've ran across just in the last week around our skin.
Yeah.
So
it happens. Things happen.
In the last couple of weeks, I ended up, our rental house was open like 2 different weekends. And so I took Summer down here. Aric came along with her 2 friends. And then this weekend, I'm down here with Chase and 6 of his buddies. So they're actually at dinner right now at our favorite restaurant. And I'm just like,
I hope we're allowed to go back to that restaurant.
Right. It's the weekend and I'm like, I haven't even out to eat or anything. I just like want to be here and just sort of regroup. Anyway, got sidetracked. So we've been down here twice in the last 2 weeks. When we were down here with Summer and her friends, they are UV worshipers, which, they come by that honestly. But we kind of had some rainy days. And on our last day, Summer and her friends we were all outside in the sun, and the sun popped out in the afternoon for a couple hours. And that night, her face is cooked.
Cooked. I mean, cooked.
Like already blistering up. And I'm like, what in the world? So she put stuff on it. And the next morning we have a super early flight, and which just made me think of something else. I'm going to come back to that. Super early flight. And we're driving to the airport, and I'm like talking to Summer, like, did you put something on? Like, I couldn't get my mind around why her face was so burnt. We have been out in the sun a million different times, but it was almost like she had lines on her jawline where it stopped. And I'm like, it's almost like you had something on your face. And it was like the light bulb went off, and she's like, I put Aquaphor on my face last night before I went to bed. And I'm like, oh my God, because that reminds me of whenever I put Vaseline on my lips in the sun and like it looked like I had lip injections the next day and was burnt so bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's why. That's why your face is so burnt and scorched, because you had Aquaphor on it. So here's the lesson. Number 1 lesson. Don't put Aquaphor on your face at all. Your skin absorbs it, even if it's the night before, even if it's the day before, and you're going to be out in the sun. Our girls, especially our teenage girls, put so much on their face from Sephora and Ulta and like all these TikTok stuff that sometimes the stuff we put on our face is not great and absorbs the sun. So we got home. I texted our dermatologist, who's amazing. And she was like, you need to go buy hydrocortisone and put that on her face. So that night she coats her face, and we were unbelievably shocked the next morning because it was like almost gone. Now her face did peel still, but those blisters and all of that irritation was completely gone. So there's life hack number 2. Put hydrocortisone on your face if you have that extreme burn. It will make a huge difference. Number 3, our very own Aric Brummer had some skin issues too.
Well, I noticed when we were on the beach that day that I had like a blister pop up on the top of my hand. You can still see it over here.
Yeah.
But I didn't think too much of it because I was working in the yard, things like that. Just thought maybe I rubbed it wrong. But then we got home and it's 4th of July weekend. And by Saturday, I had like 3 blisters on the top of each of my hands. And it was just weird. And you thought it was weird. So I go see the dermatologist Monday, 7/7. And first she's like, hey, are the blisters just on the top of your hands? Or are they underneath? Are they on your feet? I'm like, no, it's literally right here. And she goes, did you have any fresh lime juice and sit in the sun this weekend? And I was like, as a matter of fact, I did put a fresh lime in my non-alcoholic Corona and sit in the sun with Angie. And she's like, you have phytophotodermatitis. And I was like, excuse me? She wrote it down. She's like, it's a thing. She goes, you have no idea how often I ask people, they have this. And I go, did you have a margarita and sit in the sun? And they're like, yeah. And as we get older, it affects some of us. Lime juice, fresh lime juice, and sitting in the sunshine will develop blisters on the tops of your hands.
Instantly.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah. Who knew?
So I would also say, as we drop this podcast, I'll be 11 months sober the day before. And I don't really drink that much NA anymore. I did for a little bit, but you just get full. But like every now and then, it's like Friday night when we record this and you're like, it's sunny and hot out. You're like, oh, I feel like I should have a beer, but I don't want to drink a beer. So these NAs, pretty great is what I would say. They're not all pretty great. The Corona one's definitely the best one. But the thing with that, I would say this with the NA is like you have a couple and then you're like, well, I'm full. I don't want any more of that. Where if you're drinking like a regular beer, like I did for 25 years, you're like, oh, I may be full, but the alcohol says I'm not full. So I'm just going to drink more beers. And then I'm going to eat crap too. And so I think that is the trick of the NA is it's like, oh, I can have 2 or 3 of those and then I'm done. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut you off.
I am very proud of you. You're setting such an amazing example for the kids. And I mean, it's like a win-win. You look amazing. You feel amazing. You're walking like crazy.
I'm
like
sore.
You've transformed your whole body. Yes, Aric crawls in bed, I think, every night. Oh, my body is so sore. I'm like, well, no shit. You're walking like 6-7 miles. You're going to be sore.
Going to the gym. I'm walking. Yeah. Anywhere from 4 to 7 miles a day in the gym. Yeah. It's a thing. So you're saying you think that I look good? Did you say that for the listeners? Did you say that for the listeners? For the listeners, you said it?
You don't.
I think she said it.
That will make me not want to say it if you're make me repeat it.
My fault.
Louder.
You know what? I'll just save the clip. I'll go back.
There you go. You can just replay it.
All right.
Jeez.
You said a minute ago you were reminded of something.
Oh, when we were flying back with Summer and her friends, first time this has ever happened to me, we were sitting in the airport. You know what I'm going to say? How do you not remember this?
I will.
And the power and the lights go completely out. Completely out. They lost power in the entire airport.
Yeah, it was a little freaky there for a second.
Oh my gosh. And I'm watching this show with Chase called Blindside, which is like, I don't even know why I'm watching it with him, but it's like constant attacks and it's like NCIS stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, people are going to start coming in here and taking over the airport. But anyway, it actually, what made me think of it is a lot of times you get signs through lights from people. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, the lights went completely out in the airport. That takes some finagling for sure.
Only delayed our flight by a couple minutes, so that was impressive.
Yeah, I was like, oh boy, what's our plan B? We're going to have to rent a car to drive home because we're not going to be able to fly out this airport. Like, I got to be prepared. Not anxiety prepared, but just like, okay, well, what's going to happen if we can't fly out?
We made it. Last week had the big announcement. You say boutique, I say boutique. We'd love the listeners to let us know. I don't know if there's a right or a wrong, and maybe like potato, right? But with the boutique opening this week, thank you to everybody who has ordered. And obviously we have a lot of growth and things like that, but we're very excited about it. And even tonight, before this, I got another shipment. I had to rush home to meet the UPS driver. Here's what we learned. Yesterday, the UPS driver got here and we weren't here. I was still at work. Angie's in Florida. So he couldn't leave the package. I had to sign for it. So today I had to like window it in, and I was out on a walk and I saw the UPS driver pull into the front part of the neighborhood. So then I had to run between 3/4 of a mile to a mile. It's 103 degrees here because I couldn't miss that UPS driver because the girls needed their shipment. Yeah, it's important.
He takes his role very serious as the mail guy.
I'm important. I'm not important. It's important for people to get for you girls to get the stuff in, and then for me to get it out to the post office.
That's right. Yeah, I just really want to say thank you for all the love and support. I mean, it means a lot to Jesse and I, and we are having fun with it. I think that's really what matters. But hopefully by now you guys kind of get a feel for our vibe. It's kind of laid back, comfy, casual, but like super classy type of style. So there's just a few things though I just want to remind people with dealing with the boutique is that our inventory is small. And if you see something you like, you need to order it because it will quickly go out and we might not be able to get it. Like one of my favorite initial finds was these vintage sort of slouchy, comfy pants. That's definitely my style. I love barrel jeans. I love like baggy, kind of slouchy pants. And they sold out fast. So I didn't keep one for myself because I wanted to, people were ordering. I wanted to send that because I'm like, oh, I'll be able to get them again. No, they're like back ordered. And I emailed the vendor like, oh no, we're not going to be restocking that. Damn it. So, but
lessons learned.
It's going to be different inventory all the time. So things will come in and then they'll go out and we won't have them anymore. So that is the fun part of a boutique is you're not going to find things that everybody else is wearing, but it also will be gone quickly. And
think about like a restaurant that changes their menu every week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's kind of what we're talking about. Like it's, if you check the sevensboutique.com this week, I mean, next week or especially 2 weeks later, it's all going to be different. Yeah. So most of it will be different. So it's definitely something you got to check regularly.
Definitely. So that's all. I just, appreciate the support.
Definitely a lot of people watch you girls in your blooper reel last weekend.
Oh.
I loved all the comments because it was
annoyed.
Fun. It was fun to listen to you girls. There's only a little bit that I was annoyed, but again, I played it off like a parent that was just disappointed.
If you want to watch the funniest one, I actually posted it on TikTok because I didn't feel like it was appropriate for Facebook. I've had comments like, I wish you wouldn't say cuss words. So I tried to keep Facebook a little cleaner. The TikTok version, Aric is calling us names and he's really irritated and we laughed harder.
Yeah, it was happening. It ended up being 8 minutes and 49 seconds of the girls not being able to start the podcast last weekend. By the time I edited everything, 8 minutes and 49 seconds before we finally started, them just laughing. They were waffing and waffing. Anyway, it was good to see you smile and laugh like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully this weekend you are having a good time making some memories with Chase and his buddies.
Well, I'm really not. Like this time, we've made some memories, but they're all 16. So it's just me feeding these kids and then just chilling. And
they leave.
Working. I didn't take off from work. So I've been working. And then this weekend's just kind of like, I think I'll focus on the boutique. And I'm a guest on a podcast tomorrow. So we'll see what it's about. I'll share that one with you guys after it's done.
I love it. That's awesome. What do you want to share? Something that you're grateful for?
Oh, man. I'm grateful that we have Hallie's house, even though we have tossed around the idea of selling it. But every time I'm down here, I don't know what it is. I was telling my mom that I'm like, I don't know the why behind it, but I absolutely love being down here. And my mom was like, it's because it's Hallie's house, because she made miracles happen. God made miracles happen for you guys to be able to have that house. That's why. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm trying to make it more than what it is, but I do love being down here. So I'm grateful for the flexibility. I'm grateful to be able to take the trip and just watch the kids come in and out and just have fun. So time with my family.
That's awesome. I love it. I'm grateful that we made it to the end of a 5-day work week. I don't know. This whole week for me has been, it's felt heavy for some reason. I've had just dealing with random stuff at home and at work and feeling kind of isolated this week. I think just people like I've got friends that are also like going through stuff, so not really hearing from them very much. And so it just,
and
been
your
just
wife's
kind of
gone.
You're gone. I don't want to project any of that on you because you're having a nice time. And so I don't want you to have to carry any of that. So yeah, it's just been a heavy week. And so I'm grateful the week is over. Hopeful that the weekend will bring some kind of slowdown or relaxation. Although as I forecast out the next 16 hours of my life, I don't see that. So maybe by Sunday. But yeah, so grateful the week is over. God has been good in many ways throughout the week, I would just say. And so yeah, every day is a new opportunity, and try to finish today well, and same with tomorrow. But I'm glad you're having a great time. You look amazing. I haven't seen you in a couple of days, actually. And
It's Friday, and I left Wednesday morning.
At 4 a.m.
Oh.
I thought you left Tuesday, to be honest. This whole week, I've forgotten what day it is. I actually thought you left Tuesday morning, if I'm being honest. So 3 days. I haven't seen her in 3 days. She would say 2.5. I would say 3. You'd say.
It's been 2 sleeps.
It's really difficult, guys. Okay. It's hard for her to be loved so much.
Oh my God.
Kid. But no, it's just a lot going on for everybody right now. And then you add in all the heaviness, everything that happened in Texas last week. And so that's heavy on our minds. So, but we are midsummer. That's hard to say. I said this week. I know our summer didn't like it when I said it. Carter didn't like it when I said it. I said it on the air. I said, look, I say things all the time that upset my kids, so I might as well upset your kids if you're listening right now too. And that once you get past the 4th of July, and now here we are almost
back to school,
7/13, back to school is 4 to 6 weeks away. So you're over halfway through summer, kids. I know for kids, they're like, no. And some parents are like, no, it's too fast. Then you have other parents like me. And I'm like, we're almost there, baby. We are almost there.
I'm not.
Get them back in a routine. Get them back in a routine. It's different between moms and dads. So, all right. I kid enough. I have nothing else today. I hope that all of you have a wonderful week. Sevensboutique.com. Bookmark that. We hope you have a wonderful week, and God bless. Thank you for listening to Blended Blessed and Always a Mess. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and at blendedblessedalwaysamess.com.
Reach out to us on any of our social channels. We would love to hear from you. Have a great week.